approach, accountability, and adversity. The 3 A's from Bradley Beal for the season. I like that. I really do. Now, recently the Wizards had their media day, and it's a lot of quotes. So I took some notes down, jotted some notes down. And we're going to talk about it. So let's get into it. Now I start off with Bradley Beal with his 3 A's. He went in depth what what the 3 A's meant to him. Well, of course, approach. I'm guessing these are my words, not Brad's. Approach is how you approach every opponent, even if they have a losing record. Because as we know, last year, teams with losing records, Wizards would lose to, and that shouldn't be happening. They will play down to the level of their opponent, which is annoying. And I really hurt them in the long run when it came to playoff seeding, etc. Because if they won the games that they should have won, record would have been completely different. So hopefully the approach does change, and the mindset also changes with the Wizards when it comes to this year. When it comes to playing teams, that aren't the Warriors and the Lakers, teams you get up for. Hopefully the teams like the Nets or the Hawks, etc., they get up for them too and handle the business that they should handle. Now next we got accountability. Hold your man responsible. If John not playing defense, call him out for it. Now, that don't gotta be a big post-game thing or anything like that. You could just pull him to the side, be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Everybody should be guarding their man. Everybody should be exerting energy on the defensive end. You can't leave the white out to dry, or you can't not communicate on switches or picks, etc. It should be no laziness, no consistent laziness on the defensive end. It should be no missed assignments. It should be no common occurrences of these type of things. Everybody should have their role, and everybody should execute their role to the best of their abilities, or else they're not doing their job. So I like that. And lastly, we got adversity. Everybody go through adversity. This don't even got to do with basketball. This can be with life. But we going to stick to basketball. Every team go through losing streaks. Every team go through little shaky times, injuries, etc. But yes, that happens and you can't control that. But what you can control is how you fight through it. How you fight through the losing streaks. How you fight through tough games. Maybe the opposing team went on a run. How you going to come back from it? Are you going to lay down? Or are you going to get back and try to cut that lead down? Those adversity are the things that separate good teams from great teams. And great teams from bad teams. Are you going to give up, or are you going to fight? Are you going to go through a rough patch? Are you going to lay down, or are you going to keep continuing to get better? To get back on the winning end. So those 3 A's from Brad, I really like that. I really like that he said that. And those are goals for the season for the team. That shows a lot of growth from Brad's growing up and becoming a newly father and everything. So that's really good. I like to hear that. So next we're gonna go to Scott Brooks. I'm not trying to make this video extra long, but it may be. Sorry guys. Scott Brooks, the motto. Let me read right here. Focus on us. Stop talking. As Wizards fans, we always been ready for the Wizards to just stop talking because it's not working out, and we look bad. John and Brad have already been talking and saying we not gonna talk as much, and all that best backcourt in the East and best backcourt in the NBA don't matter, because it don't. Only thing that matters is when you lace up your shoes and get on the court. That's the only thing that matters. All this Cavs was ducking us and blah, blah, blah. It don't matter because one, every time they talk, they wind up kicking themselves in the mouth and looking foolish, and everybody look at them like a laughing stock and a joke. So I'm glad that Scott Brooks is finally putting that out there, as a motto. Just focus on us. Focus on what we can focus on. Ignore all the outside stuff. Avoid all the talking. Just play ball. As simple as that. Scott Brooks also wanted to improve rebounding from his backcourt, John Wall and Bradley Beal. He said he would like them to combine for at least 10 rebounds, which is good. It's always good to crash your boards. John and Brad are a very athletic backcourt, so they are capable of grabbing more rebounds if they really wanted to. And it's good that Scott is putting a challenge out there for them to go do that. Lastly, what I jotted down, Scott Brooks wants more threes from Otto, and he wants Kelly to become an elite two-way player. Now, Otto, I'm going to get to him later, but Otto, we all want him to take more threes. We all want him to be more aggressive. You know, he can come off as timid at times and shy away from shooting shots that he should be shooting. But it's good that Scott is seeing what we are seeing and saying what we want. You know, Otto should be shooting the ball more. He should be shooting more threes. He's a great three-point shooter, so he should be doing more of that. He should be shooting more threes. Kelly Oubre, athleticism is there. He just got to get his head on straight and play good ball consistently. He has good stretches where he's playing great defense. He's being given out emotion. He's hyping the crowd up. He's hyping the team up. All that is great, but then there's times where he's just like, you look at him, it's like, what are you doing? He has a lot of those moments, and if he could just package it all together and consistently just, you know, cut out the bad fouls and just the bad shots at times, he could become a really good bench piece to the team, a really good six-man or whatever you want from the team, especially a two-way player. He's got long arms. He has very good moments on defense, as we all know. So if he can put it all together, that'll be even better for this Wizard squad and depth. Now let's go to John Wall. John Wall, as I made a video about previously, was talking about the ESPN rating, and he was saying if there's 31 players better than him, go find them. I agree. Now, of course, there's players who's better than him on that list ahead of him, and there's a lot of other players you got to scratch your head on. But I already made a video on that, so I'm not going to get into that again. He also said the Capitals and Mystics championship run opened the door for them, which is true. You know, you had, I guess I'll count the Valor too, but you had three Washington teams in championship. The Capitals won the Stanley Cup. The Mystics got to the finals, and the Valor won their championship. So, you know, it kind of steps up a notch in the city. You know, it's good to have a team finally win one for the city. It's been a little while. That's why I was happy the Capitals won. So hopefully this motivates the Wizards, as John says. They saw how the city gravitated towards the Capitals and came together to watch them win. You know, not everybody watches hockey in DC, but when you see a DC team succeeding in the playoffs, you support. And we want the Wizards to get to that level too. John Wall also said the main goal, his career goal, is the championship. And that's great to have. Of course, as fans, we kind of looking at it like we just want to get to the Eastern Conference Finals at least. But that's good to dream big. Championship, that should be what you want. So I'm glad John's having this mindset of a championship and looking at the Caps and Mystics and saying, you know, that could be us as well. So that's very good. Let's get to Dwight Howard. A couple notes on him. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this video 20 minutes long. Dwight Howard said the Wizards should be top 5 in defense. They can be if they lock in and play to their best ability. They can be. You know, Otto can play good defense. Dwight's a defensive anchor. John and Brad, when locked in, can be one of the best defensive backcourts in the NBA. It's all just a matter of, you know, wanting to do it, because they can do it. It's just they have to consistently want to do it, you know, and not be taking all kinds of plays off and lagging behind the screens and leaving Dwight Howard to dry, you know, because Marcin Gortat wasn't he wasn't the only problem defensively. A lot of times, John and/or Brad weren't helping him out and was just leaving him there to dry. So you can't really be having that, especially if you want to be a top 5 defense. And I'm glad Dwight said this, because they should be a top 5 defense. They have the team, they have the skill, and they're capable of doing it. So that's good. He also said the conversations with John, Brad, etc. Basically saying they got to put their egos aside for the success of the team. That's good. Everybody, John views himself as an all-star. Dwight probably still views himself as an all-star. Brad, everybody, but you got to put all that aside. You got to make sacrifices for the good of the team. Because if you don't, then this whole thing can implode. And you can be, at the end of the season, out of the playoffs, looking crazy and pissed off. So yes, egos do have to be put aside. And things will have to be sacrifices, post touches, etc. But you got to do what you got to do for your team to succeed. So let's get into Otto Porter. Otto Porter said he wants to focus on becoming more aggressive. Thank goodness. And kind of resembling his game after Klay Thompson, which is also very good to hear and pleasing to hear, because if he can come off these screens and have a good quick trigger, even though his shot isn't as quick as a JJ Redick or Kyle Korver or a Klay Thompson, that still will be good to get in that mindset. That aggressive mindset. As soon as I'm getting this ball, I'm shooting. That will be very helpful for the team. Like I previously talked about him, he's a very good 3-point shooter. So he's a very efficient shooter too. So the more he shoots, the better. Honestly, the better. So Otto, please be more aggressive. Please. We all want it. We all want you taking more shots. So go for it. Last note on him, he said he studied Kawhi and his defensive angles and how to maintain energy throughout the game. That's good that he's watching film on somebody at the caliber of Kawhi Leonard, defensive specialist, who's just very good at the game. There's nothing wrong with studying players who, are better than you or are, all-stars, etc. You can always keep learning from other people and keep adding on to your game and defensive game. So that's my last thing on Otto. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, Markieff. I just talked about Scott Brooks saying, focus on us. Stop talking. And what does Markieff Morris do? I think we the best team in the East. The Raptors going through some changes. Boston's never been better than us. Like I just said, John and Brad and Scott were just all talking about all that talking stuff don't matter. And Markieff just obviously ain't get the memo. He just didn't get the memo. He didn't hear the PSA announcement, clearly. Because he chit-chatting it up, talking about the Celtics, when he needed to be worried about us. He was just the AFC. The Celtics was in a Game 7 with the Cavs last year. They got a nice young team. They straight. You keep all that. It's good to feel like that, but just keep it in the locker room. Keep it in the locker room. Don't go blurting it out to the media, because now you got Bleacher Report and all this, quoting, and everybody like, oh, Wizards talk the most crap and blah blah blah. Now you see, it's unwanted attention and it's unnecessary attention. And for a guy who's not even a star player, who's a role player on the team, he shouldn't even be talking like that. He's not even at that caliber of a player to be saying all of this. He's 11 some points per game type guy, but he talking like he LeBron James. Like, just relax, Markieff. But that's all in all. Like I said before, I didn't want to make the video all day long. So I'm gonna keep it 14 minutes. That's decent. It was a lot of stuff to cover. But that's about it for today. media day for the Wizards. I heard a lot of things I liked. One thing I didn't like. But all in all, I'm excited for the season, man. First preseason game coming up soon. I'm ready for some Wizards basketball.
Georgie.